could you please, a follow-up question, clarify what the roadmap exactly is? Since Thursday, MP Francisco La Cruz proposed an amendment to the budget in taking advantage of the offer of Crowley for LNG. They had been in Parliament giving a presentation a few years ago. Is LNG also part of that roadmap that Grid Market created with government? And my question is related to the resettlement plan. What is the status of the resettlement of the people living next to the landfill, since the social housing at Foga didn't take place, and there was a big issue finding homes for the people that were to be resettled? So can you give an update on that?
Indeed, the roadmap highlighted all the different aspects, solar, wind, water. I don't recall if it had LNG in there. We were looking at the natural resources available to St. Martin as priorities in different phases that could be implemented in different phases. LNG presentations have been done more than once to various governments, and it is, and I know that NVGB's last two generators have the capacity to run on oil as well as LNG. However, I have not seen the final strategic plan of NVGB to see whether they are exploring that, and I cannot confirm that that was part of government's roadmap off the top of my head. I'm trying to look up the document, but I am not able to go into it at this point. So I can check that and get back to you in terms of whether LNG was part of it. For me, it will be ensuring cost effectiveness, ensuring feasibility, and maintenance moving forward. At the end of the day, LNG is still a gas, is still, something that we extract from the earth. So at the end of the day, we'll see how that works out in terms of its feasibility for St. Martin. I don't think anything is off the table per se, especially seeing that NVGB has to look at what's best for them in the transition, because they do have generators already. So I don't think anything's off the table. As it relates to the resettlement, that is nearing completion as far as I was updated from the NRPB, and we'll be moving forward as far as I'm concerned. Most of the persons have either agreed to take a financial settlement, and they are getting some kind of social assistance to be able to find something. But once they take the financial settlement, then the responsibility is no longer with the NRPB or government to ensure that they are resettled.
Has GB produced 2023 financial statements? Have they been shared with 2023, last year's financial statements, also explaining what their payables, what their outstandings are, and then have they shared that with the shareholder, and is it possible for those to be made public?
I believe they still had to finalize 22. And if usually the 23 or the year prior would then be due mid-year, June or something of the following year. So I don't think 23 would be due before June. And if they are due, then they're due around that time. But I know that they were in arrears in terms of their reporting based on the hack. So I believe they are finalizing 22.
And the hack was in 2020?
21. 21 or 2? 23. 22.
So it means that the
22.
The financial impact of the hack is still actually to be sort of illustrated.
Yes.
So that's really worrisome.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I believe they're finalizing 21, 22. I don't think 23 is up to bat yet.
And are those statements made public? Well, I guess if Parliament calls in, then they become public. So
It depends.
hopefully.
Parliament would definitely have access to them. But of course, I heard someone say something about redacted. Sometimes some information is redacted when shared with Parliament because it's extensive and it could damage
maybe.
the business case. We don't have necessarily competitors for NVGB as such directly, but if you're putting bids out there and people know certain information, then it's
But on the
also
other
not
hand,
conducive.
as a monopoly that is the sole provider of electricity and water, I think knowing that the company's in sound financial state is important.
Yes,
So
they have been booking close to pre-hack revenues, so they are currently financially stable in their last report in terms of their, liquidity and moving forward.
What are we doing to protect local artists? What are we doing to protect local entrepreneurs? What are we doing to protect the local St. Martiners? And I was so happy. I was extremely happy when my colleague MP questioned that. But then again, the government of contradiction. Right before that, there was a statement. I need to know how a St. Martiner became a SG in their country. What was the criterias? How she get a job? What qualifications she got? So all of a sudden, that rule of wanting to protect the St. Martiners was through the door. It went through the door. While from the answers given from the minister, it went through the SOAB, it went through all the rigorous investigations, it went through screening, and the person finally get the job. So when the locals in St. Martin get those top jobs right here where they born, right here when they go up, they got to go through all kind of rigorous questions from we, who should be proud to see our very own. So to the SG, I said, congratulations. And I also must say, congratulations, as today, another SG, another strong St. Martin woman became an SG. So put on your armors, because you too might have to go through the same kind of rigorous questioning. If you're qualified, what's your qualifications, what's your experience, how you get there, what you do. I want to see everything. But at the same time, we hear them on the floor. We want laws to protect our local artists. We want laws to protect our local entrepreneurs. So, Madam Chair, I would like to say that I will support this budget. I got it right here. Like a colleague MP say, it get extra pages. Probably get so much pages because of the things that is good in this budget that is coming. Yes, I might tend to agree with my colleague MP when he say, you know, you want to see certain things at library, I want to see certain things built fast. But when I see a budget, especially before the election, when everybody campaigning, it's a hoax, it's a stunt. It ain't true. The justice workers won't get their pay. But then, when I look in right here, not what I say, right here in the newspaper, signing of a national decree for Group 3 of the justice workers. In their payments for the justice workers, right in here. Right in here. So if I pass in this budget, it's to make sure that they get paid. Congratulations to you, the minister, and to the justice workers, because they're going to get paid. And I hear today, I was happy to hear about the civil servants, how hard they work. And we thank them for how hard they work in helping prepare this risk budget, and for them to start preparing the super budget what coming. I advance. Thank you. And that's why when I seen here 2% cost of living adjustments for them, I got to vote for this budget. Got it right in here. So maybe it got things that we could amend and change. But to the government of overtime, the outgoing, whatever, I say thank you for the hard work. Thank you for the stability that you provided. And thank you for going the extra mile in governing while those who coming in, whenever they come, the government extension finally reach for holding on for them, for doing their job. And I would like to give a little piece of advice before I leave. Small little advice. When you get sick, you feel sick, you go to a doctor for advice. And I would like to tell a doctor, when it comes to formation, you go to a formateur. And right next to me, you got the most experienced formateur right here. And you got another one right there. So you got them right here. Go for them, look for them. Like how others go for medical advice by the doctor, I would like to tell the doctor, go by formation advice to the formateurs. Maybe just then you wouldn't need another extension. So in closing, I want to thank my outgoing government once again. And yes, I will be supporting this budget.
For all of life's twists, turns, and defining moments, RBC is a blend for all of you. SXM, your social and health insurance is SXM, your social and health insurance.
Are you SXV insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXV is cardless. Request your My SXV account today and enter the virtual office of SXV. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
SXV, yeah, your social and health insurances.
Madam Chairlady, I am somewhat confused, but I do understand with one of the questions that I ask most of the ministers, or all the ministers, concerning what it has cost the country in legal fees for cases. But I have discussed this with a fellow MP, and we will work on a motion together to see if we could find a solution to that. Madam Chairlady, St. Martin, these are names that I want you to listen to carefully. Ida Nova, Costa Smeralda, P&O Iona, MSC World Europa, Mardi Gras, Iona, Icon of the Seas, and another 20 plus names, and another 20 plus names that are being built as we speak. And these are ships that are fueled on LNG. Madam Chairlady, in the first round, I spoke about this, not only as a fuel, cleaner fuel, but also a source of income for the country, and also a relief when it comes to the fuel prices that we have from GEBE. Madam Chairlady, a lot has been said, and I don't want to go too much into it because it makes absolutely no sense to explain over and over to the members of parliament what they already know. Our people are suffering with the prices that we pay at GEBE. So today, March the 28th, 2024, considering the motion of April the 18th in 2013, which was adopted by 13 members of parliament anonymously, which had the following listed as resolves: to request the minister in charge of energy affairs to request the management and the board of supervisors of GEBE to submit within 30 days on the implementation of this relief, to present the collaboration with GEBE, a fair proposal to the less fortunate in the community with emphasis on our senior citizens. And of January the 29th, 2011, anonymously approved by 15 members of parliament, which had the following listed as resolves: to request the government as shareholder of GBE to instruct the management of GBE to take the necessary steps to immediately reduce the fuel clause for all consumers.
you SZV insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SZV is cardless. Request your My SZV account today and enter the virtual office of SZV. Go to szv.sx and sign up now.
SZV, yeah. Your social health insurances. For all of life's twists, turns, and defining moments, RBC is a blend for all of you.
First is the introduction of greater prizes in what we call the meat fish division of the tournament. It consists of daily prizes for the heaviest wahoo, tuna, dolphin, and barracuda for the first time. Each day there's going to be $1,000 prize for the heaviest of each of those species, as well as overall prizes. And there's also going to be, for the first time, a national Barbados Barracuda record introduced to this tournament. The winner is not only going to get the bragging rights and the trophy, but $6,000 cash. So we think that's a big draw for the guys that like fishing the Barracuda in Barbados. Another of the changes that we've introduced is that we've changed our policy regarding fish coming to the scale, and we're no longer taking the fish from the fishermen at the scale. So the BGFA used to retain all of the fish that were weighed, and now the participating fishermen, when they weigh their fish at the scale, are able to keep the fish to consume themselves or to sell on to whoever they wish. And we think that's going to encourage participation as well as result in more fish coming to the scale.
We support activities that bring people from the region together. As well, it makes sense to also support activities that our customers support, right? And lastly, we support activities that bring families together. This tournament is similar when last year when I came at the end and I looked at the participants. You had sons and daughters, mothers and fathers, grandparents, uncles, aunts. You had people from the entire family together. So in addition to it being a regional tournament, I'm bringing together people from the region. It also brings together families, right? So that is something that we will always support. We will always support those types of activities, and those are the major reasons why we will continue to support this event.